And hello and welcome to On the Colour Couch. I'm Karen Huller and I'm so glad that you've come to join us today because
Thank you.
well, thank you. That was to the audience.
Sorry, I've
But
come in a bit too
but
early.
but I'm so glad you've come here today too,
Good,
Charlotte.
good, good.
So this on the Colour Couch for people who might be new to it, it's I get to sit down with the most wonderful, wonderful guests, artists, designers, creators from all over the world, and they share their love of colour. And we talk about their stories, their inspirations, what goes on behind their work, what influences their use of colour. And today I have the wonderful Charlotte Gaisford. Hope I pronounced that right.
Yes.
Perfect. Who is a British textile designer, quite celebrated for her joy of colour and pattern. And she's joining us all the way from her studio, which is on her farm in Northumberland, which is in the north of England. So, Charlotte, I'm really excited to have you to join us, and thank you so much for agreeing to be on the
Yeah,
Colour Couch.
absolute pleasure. It's taken us quite a long time to get here.
It has. So the little backstory of that is that I asked Charlotte back in 2020. So that's 5 years ago.
I can't believe it's 5 years.
I
I looked back at
know,
the emails and I thought, I can't believe it's 2020.
2020, yes. And we bumped into each other, and we know each other
I
well
know, I've known it's through Susie Bellamy. She's a
through,
mutual
yes,
friend. Yeah,
yes, through Susie,
yeah,
another
yeah,
textile designer.
yeah.
And Charlotte and I bumped into each other a couple of weeks ago at Decorex in London. And then I said to her, right, we still need to do this colour couch. And we
You
said, yes,
pinned
let's
me
do it.
down.
Pinned you down, I did. Pinned you down by one of the stalls. I think it was the National Gallery had
Oh
was it
yeah, no, was it? I
National
think
Art Gallery
was the
or
V&R one, V&A one. I think it was that one. I met you
V&A,
there.
the V&A stand. Yes, I
Yeah,
pinned you down there, and
yeah,
so and got you to say yes. So it's just lovely now we can sit down properly and have a good chat. Um, so as always on the Colour Couch, there's some classic questions that I ask, but I'm stuck in a few little extra ones here for Charlotte
hmm,
because that way we get to have a little peek behind the curtain, the creative curtain, and maybe we might even get some, little juicy bits as well. So, let's dive in to the first question. And the first one is just a kind of a classic one that I do ask, and that is Charlotte. What's your earliest color memory? What can you remember? Because it's usually people always say it's something, way back in childhood, but what's
yeah,
yours?
yeah. I mean, mine is actually. I mean, it's sort of. I remember when we all used to go to Ike. My grandparents used to live in Southwest Cork in Ireland. We always used to go there every summer, and we all and in those days, you filled the car up with petrol, and they'd have free gifts at the petrol station. Like everyone used to get sort of garage glasses or something like that. Anyway, they had felt pens, so we all thought this was great because in those days they were a novelty because you couldn't really just get felt pens like you can now. They were like really sought after gold dust. Anyway, there was a whole load of pens that we used to collect, and there was a particular green that I loved. We just loved it, and it was very muddy green. And you're always delighted when we could get that color. But I'm not sure if I like that color now. But at the
Right.
time, because this was in the 1970s, so it was quite a long time ago, and that was that. And I remember that color clearly, but I would hate it now. But at the time, I loved
Ah.
it.
Do you think because it was it in when you say muddy green, the first thing I think of is olive green? Is
Yeah,
that
it was
what?
quite olivey. Yeah, it was olivey green, but it was just something
Mm,
really trendy about it at the time.
yeah, I,
And I wouldn't say it was now, but at that time in the 1970s, it was seriously trendy.
yeah. I can imagine that's probably why you loved it because it
I know
was it was the big color that was if
it
it's
was
on trend.
definitely, it was, I really, when you asked me that question, I really remember it clearly. It's vivid memory of that green and the felt pens from the garage.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that we can when we get asked even like our favorite color or the color that had a big impact on us. It takes us right back to that moment. We can
Yeah.
see we can see everything. It's like we're
Yeah.
living it back in there again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But we always used we said we when we drove down, because we had to go a long way to travel down, we always stop at a lot of the petrol stations. So that's how I remember the petrol station and the felt pens,
Oh,
because we always,
did you get felt pens at every petrol station?
yeah, yes, you got felt pens at all the petrol stations. So we always used to sort of persuade my father to get the felt pens, because he always filled up with lots of petrol to go, because it was a long way to go from Northumberland all the way down to the right, the bottom of Ireland. So we used
Yeah,
to
it is a
stop
long
for
way. It's
petrol.
still a
So
long
that's why I
way.
remember. I know that's why I remember the petrol station and the pens.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow. And then did you get them all the way back again as well?
probably yes. I think we all fought.
God,
My sisters and I all fought over the green.
I can imagine. I can imagine. I can imagine. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
So another kind of reflective kind of question is what does color, given that then, what does color now mean? What does color mean to you?
Well, I'm just so attracted to color. You know, if I see something, you know, like a really colorful, you know, I literally sort of, it just pings up at me, you know, and if there's something with loads of colors in it, you know, I'm really attracted to it, and I have to go and have a look, and it just makes me want to go and have a look at it and see what it is. I mean,
Hmm.
it is, I think I've always been a color person. I've never been able to use boring colors or neutrals, or, you know, never. I just can't. I just find them really boring. I have to use color.
Hmm. Hmm.
Always been that sort of colory person. I've always done it all my life. I've just been attracted to color.
Great. So we'll get into those kind of
Yeah,
when you're talking about boring and neutrals and things.
yeah, yeah,
We'll have to remember that, and
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
get down
yeah.
to it. Otherwise, we'll just
Okay.
go off on a tangent straight away,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh,
off we go. Um, so do you have a favorite color or a color that you find yourself constantly drawn to?
well, yes, it's red. I love red.
Ah,
I love red. I've
what kind
always
of
loved
red? Like a
red. It's
real,
a really rich, jewelly, like bright red, really bright red.
like a fire engine
Yeah,
red,
yeah,
or
yeah.
a,
Yeah, sort of. It's sort of like a bit more, it's more not a pinky red, I suppose. It's more between a pinky red and an orangey red, like a true
aha.
red. In
Right,
fact,
right,
my
right.
logo is red because I love red.
Yeah, that's a warm red, isn't it, your
Yeah, it's a
logo?
warm red. You know, I
Mm,
love
mm.
warm red. It's like a sort of, you know, warning red. You know, it is
Yeah.
a strong color, but I love red. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
your red isn't that aggressive,
No.
cold, kind of cold blue red. Do you have any fabric samples with the red in it?
Oh, not this minute here. No, I've only got
No.
and greens. But I mean,
That's all
the thing is, I'm sort of I'm careful not to use it too much
right.
in designs. You know, I sort of find I sort of, I don't, but for me personally, I like you know, in my everyday life,
Are
I
you
like,
wearing it? Have you got red on your top?
no, I've got pink. I've got
Oh,
pink
that's
on
a
me at the
pink,
moment.
right? Because it's
Pink,
oh, you
you know.
got red glasses.
I've got red glasses. I love red. I mean, I had to change these glasses. I did have a pair of glasses which were really red. And then someone came up to me and said, "Oh, how come you got a Ferrari sign on the side of your glasses?" And I didn't
Ah,
realize. And then I took them off, and it had like a Ferrari sign on the
oh,
side.
right.
And it was Ferrari red glasses. I didn't realize when I bought them, because I bought them online. And I
Right,
just
right.
wanted to wear like something fun rather than boring brown.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
wear colours. That's why I sort of wear red glasses as well. And then I couldn't get the red glass. I couldn't reuse those Ferrari ones, so I had to get some new ones.
All
So these are
right.
my new ones, the nearest I could get to
Yeah.
red.
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes because red is the color that advances towards us the quickest. It definitely, when we look at you, the first thing I look at and
Yeah,
first thing I notice
yeah,
is your red glasses. That could
yeah,
become
yeah.
quite a good signature
Yeah,
for
well, I
you.
think so. I mean, actually, it was quite funny because I did a thing on Instagram the other day, and I haven't really got. I'm not very good at going on the camera, and I'm trying to make myself do it. And I did it the other
Like
day,
you're doing here.
yeah, like I'm doing here. And I was actually in a much better place rather than my office, but I was in a better place with better lighting, and my glasses really showed up, and everyone said, Oh, I love your new glasses.
See,
I
there
said, well,
you
I've had
go.
them for quite a long time, but
I,
anyway, but
I think
they just
I think it's become
showed
a
up.
really good signature for you.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah,
get known and
yeah. For my red glasses, I have to
yeah.
wear my glasses. I can see without them, but I'd rather keep them on. So,
Yeah, yeah. Like Dame Sandra Rhodes is known for her
oh
that
yeah,
shocking pink,
oh
the
yeah,
bright
that
pink
hair.
hair, and
Yeah, yeah,
you can be known for the red
yeah, yeah. My
glasses.
red glasses,
There
definitely.
you go. There you
Mm,
go.
mm, mm.
Um, Now, is there a color that you least like? And I think you might have more than one. I've got a feeling that you've
Well, I start off. Where do you want me to start? I'll start off with purple,
yeah.
mauve, burgundy. That group. I'm going to call it a group. I just absolutely hate those colours. I just
You don't like the
makes
purples
no.
or
I hate it. I just find to me it just does nothing for me. Purple. I look at it. And,
right.
oh my God, I hate it because it's just it. The burgundy is like a dirty. Even though I love red, it's like when
Mm.
it goes into that sort of bluey purple. I absolutely hate it, and it's just it no, you never see. I mean, people do not buy purple when you do fabrics. They do will not buy it.
Is that why you hate it? Because people won't buy
I
it
hate
or
it as well, but
as
also
well?
everyone else obviously hates it because no one. If I remember doing because I've done it. I mean, I've been selling fabrics for over 10 years. I've been designing in fabrics for 10 years, and I've
Mm.
looked at. I look at trends. I look at all sorts of things, and I have done in the past. Have done purpley-ish things,
Mm.
and they've never sold. They just have.
Wow.
It's just I don't know what it is. It's that burgundy color as well. It's just
Do
horrible.
you know
It's a
that's in
burgundy
fashion
purple.
right now? In like clothes fashion
And
and interior. Yeah, it's really,
yeah,
really, really big.
yeah,
So it's interesting that's not translating
no, no,
well, maybe as a solid color into
yeah,
interiors, but maybe not
yeah,
within a pattern. Who
no,
knows? Who
no.
knows?
I just think that it's for me personally, and for what my experience, what I sell, the
Mm.
burgundy and purple.
It's not your clientele's
They
not
just
into
don't
it.
do it. They just don't
Yeah.
do it. And I think it's probably a bit of an offshoot from the past. I think it's sort of people have seen it, done it, been there, and they've just thought, oh no, I don't want to revisit it. They
Right.
definitely do. I mean, there's absolutely no way. But then if you look at color charts, paint color charts, I mean, they don't really have that burgundy either. They don't have a purple and the burgundy. If you look at them,
Mm. They've
it's
got probably more
nothing.
of an aubergine.
Yeah, yeah. But it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you mean by the aubergine, it's sort of browny, more browny, but it's this,
Purple. Yeah.
purple, 70s purple, I'm thinking, a bit like the green,
Right.
the 70s purple, absolutely horrible
Oh,
now,
yeah.
awful.
I
I
was
mean,
actually I was actually going to wear my lilac top and
oh yeah,
I thought, oh, I'm pretty sure she doesn't. I don't want you to have to look at me and just think, oh my
no,
God, I
the
can't
thing
even
is,
look at her.
it's nearly that bad. I mean, I just have some color and look at me, oh my God, that's revolting.
Okay, just one second. I'll just go and get changed and we'll
All
see.
right. Okay. I know that lilac, purple, burgundy,
Mm.
absolutely horrible.
Right.
Absolutely, I
So
can't bear it.
I think we
And then
we've
the other one
established that. And what's the other one?
is orange.
Oh, that's my favorite
Oh no,
color.
no, no, orange. No, no, no. I
How
know.
can you not
No,
like
no.
orange?
I mean, you would really suit orange because you've got lovely blonde hair and lovely color, and you've got, you can get away with it. I mean, orange. I just find it that again doesn't sell.
Ah,
Orange does not sell.
not even happy
No,
orange.
no. I mean, I
Fun.
think it's just people just don't buy orange. I mean, I did have one pattern. I think I did an elephant pattern, and and actually they were trend color. This is quite a few years ago, and I found like a trend colorway, and I thought, well, I'll try that. So it looks like, and actually, it sold, but then it didn't sell,
Oh, right.
and it was mixed with a brown, mixed with like sort of like a blue, a lovely sort of cobalty blue. And actually,
Mm.
I really like the colorway, but the orange just stuck out
Oh,
sore thumb. But
well,
anyway,
maybe it's what type of orange? Because there's thousands of
yeah,
oranges.
yeah, yeah. But it's definitely the orange peel orange, not like
Oh,
orange peel orange,
mm-hmm.
orange.
Yeah. See, my
It's,
favorite color is the calendula marigold orange.
yeah, yeah,
That's my favorite
yeah,
color.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this is orange peel orange, that
Yeah.
color. Can't cope with it.
Because everything you do is really kind of jolly and happy and full of life. And
Yeah,
so it's quite interesting that the
yeah,
color that is about joy
yeah,
and
yeah,
is the color that you then
yeah.
don't connect with. That's
No, yeah.
very interesting
I
from a
know,
color psychology
I know.
perspective.
But the thing also, I mean, the thing is that people buy, they buy the same colors, and people don't want to buy something weird. They just want to buy something that they can relate to and they
I
feel
like
comfortable
weird.
with. But when they're designing an interior, they won't go for weird colors.
Yeah, or maybe
They
that's your
will
target
literally go.
market.
They
Maybe you've
would. They literally would just go for the easy options. The
right.
most. That the blues, the greens, the pinks.
Mm, mm,
They
mm.
won't go for the purples and the.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's probably the type of people that you attract because there are other
Yes.
designers that
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that and they
Yeah. Yeah.
attract that kind of market. So
Yeah.
I
It's
think it's
definitely that
you
market.
you know your niche. I think that's the main
Yeah.
point. I think
Yeah.
for anyone who's looking
Yeah.
to become a designer of any type,
Yeah.
it's your design and your personality and how you design, but it's also then the niche and the target market who that you will then attract and then
Yeah.
perfect sweet
Yeah.
spot. And you
Yeah.
just know that
Mm,
your target market,
mm.
isn't the target market that
No.
goes with those colors because they go to somebody else for that.
Yes, which is absolutely fine. And I think
Mm,
in this day and age, being a fabric designer, there's quite a few people out there doing it. And I think everyone has a
loads.
different market, a different customer, a
Yeah,
different price point, a
yeah,
different style. And I think,
yeah.
it's anything goes. And I
Yeah, and
think
it's know
people,
your yeah, it's know
you know,
your niche. Absolutely.
definitely, I think. And I just, I definitely know which colors people prefer to buy.
Mm, mm.
Definitely.
Yeah, because as much as you're designing, you're also designing from a commercial point as well, because
Yeah.
it's no good designing and no one buys. So you need to
Yeah.
also look at is it still on brand? Is it still authentically you and
Oh, yeah.
your brand and will it sell?
I'll tell you another thing I did, which I did, which doesn't sell, was the chocolate brown.
Ah,
And chocolate brown is meant to be really in at the moment in the fashion.
yeah,
I sort of
yeah.
saw the chocolate brown thing, and I did some chocolate brown stuff, and actually I really liked it. But it didn't sell
Sell, yeah, against your
because the
niche.
chocolate brown just
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, actually, I'm quite glad in a way because I don't. I mean, I think chocolate brown, anything to do with brown, I don't like either. Sorry, I'm really, really restricting myself to a few colours, but I can't really do brown either. Brown, brown.
And didn't at the very beginning, I love color, and now all of a sudden,
I
chung,
know.
chung,
But you
chung.
see, the thing is, to me, brown isn't really a colour. I can't really do brown as a colour. To me, colours like green, red, yellow,
Mm.
blue, the bright colours, that's what colour is to me.
Well,
To
brown
me,
is a mix of many colors, isn't it? Well,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
brown is actually dark orange. So you don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
orange, so
Well, exactly.
you won't like dark orange.
And the thing is, it's like when you're painting, and you're painting and you're mixing colors, and it goes disastrous when it turns into a brown.
Oh,
And to
yes.
me, that's a negative. So I don't really
Uh-huh.
like brown. That's probably why, because if I'm painting and I think, no, I don't really like brown. But anyway, I think that's meant to be really in the fashion world at the moment.
Yeah, but then what's
Chocolate
in
brown.
is not in, and then it's in again, and it's not in,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think as we get older and older, we find that things are just back in again. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? It's like, hold on,
definitely.
and they always say if you hold on something long enough, it'll come back in fashion.
I know. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I do think the interiors world is quite slow when it comes to fashion, which is quite nice in a way. As fashion, like, clothes fashion is
Very
really quick, quick,
fast.
quick, quick. And whereas interiors is sort of slow and steady and, slow
A
to
little
move.
bit. Yeah,
I
yeah.
quite like that. I think people, they live with it for longer than
Mm.
what they're wearing. So they have to sort of, get something that they like and they have to enjoy it for longer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. So that then tease us perfectly into,
Yeah,
I want to ask you about your design practice. So, where or how do you begin with your designs? Does it start
yes.
with color? Does it start with pattern? Does it start with a feeling? Like how,
Uh-huh.
what sort of behind the scenes are you willing to share about
Well,
the
I mean,
process?
mainly it sort of starts with like it's literally like a shape. So for me, I never have one way of designing and stick to it. I'm always like learning new things, new techniques. I'm always looking around me for the whole time, and I never sort of, I go to museums, I go to art galleries, I go to the old country houses. I look through sort of books and things, and if something will spark my interest,
Mm-hmm.
usually like a shape, you know,
Mm.
because the thing about when you're designing fabric is you don't want it to look too complicated and too weird and strange, because people like to relate to the shape, they like to know the shape,
Mm.
where it's
Mm.
come from. So quite often you'll do historical stuff, but the thing is, if you make it too complicated and too colorful, then it just looks like a wrapping paper or greetings card.
Oh, yeah, good point.
You have to sort of make it look relatively simple and pair
Mm.
it. So quite often you'll design something with the shapes, and then when you've done that, you have to put it into a repeat
Yeah.
pattern, and then you do the colors. So the colors will sort of come in sort of halfway through the designing process, because you need the colors to sort of help you to see if the pattern's working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And some patterns look absolutely awful in some colors, and some patterns look amazing in other colors. And you need the colors to help you to guide you to the next
Mm-hmm.
process.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you can, design a pattern and then in black and white. You do need the colors. So they're like a vehicle as well. So it all comes together, like the shape, the pattern, the color, and then the scale. And that's how you,
Yeah.
you design. But I mean,
Have you got one that you can hold up and just to sort of give
I
an
mean, this
idea?
one, this is like a one. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah,
That one
perfect.
there. I mean, that's all been sort of hand painted. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
blurry.
Perfect.
It's sort of hand painted, but you see the shape, that shape there. I've used that shape, and then this is like a sort of a bit of movement, a flow, and I did that. I painted that, but then it's the relationship, But then on the other hand, the main color is like a pinky color, and then but you do have to have like a main color, and then you add in the details,
Mm,
relationship.
mm.
I know you're doing decorating a room, you do 60-30-10, 60 of one color, 30 of the other, and 10 as a highlight. It's a little bit like that as well, but it is literally just stroke of luck. It's not really, you don't want to be too, regimented about it. You sort of have a feeling
You
and think, oh, I
feel.
like that, that's going to go. Oh, I don't like that. And then
Mm.
quite often you'll get things printed. I'll show another one. You get things printed, and then you look at it, like that's another one that's been all hand painted. Everything was hand painted in detail. But the thing is, if quite often you're printed off, because you have to do loads of different sampling, because you can do it digitally and you like it, and then you can do. I quite often I'll do a mock up, like I'll do a cushion mock up, so I can see what it looks like from a distance, and then I get it printed physically. And then
Hmm.
I like that. And then I get like masses of meters printed of different ideas. And I go through them, and probably about 80% of them will get pushed to one
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
because it's what it looks like printed on the fabric which matters. And it's so
Mm.
different from looking at it on the screen and then
Yeah.
looking actually on the fabric. So
Yeah.
and you have to see what it looks like on your base cloth as well.
Mm, mm, mm.
And then you need to hang it up and look at it and live with it.
Mm,
But
mm, mm.
actually, I absolutely hate that after a week. Or I absolutely love that. You sort of it's a process. It's not an instant thing.
Right. Yeah, I like the idea that you then you live with it because
Yes, I mean you hang it up and say, oh, I really hate that.
yeah, because if you get bored with it or you just think, oh, it's just not working, then you're
Yes,
doing that sense check already for your customers
yes,
because once it goes for sale, it has
yeah,
gone
yeah,
through all of
yeah.
these steps.
I mean, the good thing about what I do is because it's digitally printed, I haven't, and it's actually really good, sort of sustainable, really, because you're not printing masses of stock, you're not having
Mm,
masses of stuff. So if something doesn't sell, then we don't print it. And the thing is, you can't sell everything all the time. There's no way that every single design and colorway is a success.
mm-hmm,
It is, and some of it isn't. And the thing is, what we do is we print stuff for sampling. So that you're investing in that design to get samples. You have a stock of samples to
mm-hmm.
send out to people. And if that doesn't work and people don't buy it, then we just stop doing it.
Mm,
But,
mm.
but because it's digitally printed, it means if they've got a sample of one we've discontinued, then we can still have it printed
Yeah,
as long
yeah.
as they've seen a physical sample, because it's all design files and they just press the button and
So
they
it's
can
just print on demand, really, isn't it?
print on demand. But
Yeah,
it means
that's a great way to do it.
people always ask me, have you got any offcuts? Have you got any end of rolls? And I said, no, I haven't got anything.
Yeah,
Because
because
it's all,
that's what I always wanted to ask you. Like, if you've got
yeah,
any little scraps, like,
no, I haven't got anything. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I literally, get it, everything sampled. And then we sort of, I keep a few things for like an archive.
mm,
I have a bit of an archive. So,
that's good.
so I can keep it and look back at it.
Mm,
The thing is, we always have a certain amount of fabric. We only have a certain amount of fabrics offering. But I mean, but some of them go and some of them don't go. And by the end of the year, I have a big clear out and they go, right,
mm,
get rid of that one. And then we put new ones in. So we're always refreshing
mm,
it
mm, 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 mm.
time, but I mean, but it's sustainable. So we're not wasting
Yeah,
fabric and
yeah.
not
And you
having
don't have stock.
we don't have stock. But the thing
Yeah.
is, nowadays with printing methods, I mean, they print it, within 10 days, 10, 14 days. And then they send it. And then so it's actually quicker than some people who say have stock.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a really good way. And I think it's the way forward now. I think people are doing
Mm,
more because it's sustainable and they're not wasting,
yeah.
stuff, which is
Yeah.
so
It's a
much
good
waste.
idea.
So much fabric goes to landfill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. But I think that with the colors, it is, you just have to sort of test it out and see what it's like. There's no hard and fast way of doing it.
Mm,
I have a different method. I
mm.
learn a different method. I use programs I know really well. So I know a way of trying to avoid. So I reduce down my sampling. So I reduce it down so I can do as much as I can digitally. And then I can see if it's not going to work. And then I just print off the ones which I want to see printed.
Mm, mm.
So I sort of I've honed my skills over the years, so
Yeah.
I'm,
And just
I'm
the fact that you've been going, I'm going to say only 10 years
I know
because
10,
what you've achieved in 10 years
yeah,
is amazing.
yeah.
You
I
have
mean,
you've gone like this.
yeah, well, I was 60 this year and I've been going for 10 years. So what I wanted to do this year was to have like a collection which is called 60-10.
Right.
60-10 collection. It wasn't a specific collection. It was just everything I produced in that
Right.
year.
Ah,
I didn't want to be restricted because the thing
yeah.
is sometimes when you're doing, have to do a collection, it all has to match and it all has to
Mm,
do this and then you have to produce it all at the same time. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I want to
mm, mm,
like
mm, mm,
through the year. I want to create different stuff and have different things coming in. So I
mm.
have a collection called 60-10,
Oh,
which is
brilliant.
everything I've done this year.
So
You know,
where's that? Where can we
it's,
see that?
it's just on the website. If you look on my website,
All
you'll
right, I
see,
will. I'll
and
put a link in the notes
there's a
below
thing saying
because
collections, and you can look through, and it's just called 60-10. But
fabulous.
because my PR actually retired, well, she stopped doing her PRing, so it was my excuse to be a bit maverick and go right. Right, I'm just going to be doing exactly what I want to do now.
Charlotte
Because
going wild.
I always have to wait for the PR to say you can't show that fabric because the magazines haven't seen it
Right,
yet.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think, well, you can spend ages doing photos and things for magazines, and then
Mm,
the photo. So you think, well, actually, I'd rather just get it out
yeah,
there.
because there's embargoes, yeah.
That's what I do now. So I've just done
Good
that
on
this
you.
year.
Good on you.
Anyway,
So what did you do? Were you an artist before, or what did you do before?
I've always been an art. I've always done drawing, painting. I used to be a
Mm.
paint effects person. And I used
Ah,
to have a
yes.
paint effect shop, and I used to do a lot of television work,
Ah,
and doing paint effects and doing. I had a shop in the Lake District, and I used to
right.
go around the country, in fact, bits of Europe as well, doing painting for people.
And for
But
TV shows
yeah,
or
yeah, TV
oh,
shows.
what
Yeah.
kind? Which ones? Like,
Oh no, I mean, you luckily you wouldn't be able to find them anymore because it was such a long time ago. It was pre-digital, pre-Sky, literally, luckily, thank goodness. But I did do one for it was pre-Sky, it was cable telly, but it was just before Sky, and it was 18-part series I had to do. And I
yeah.
had I was in we I used to have a shop in Kendal, and I used to live in Kendal in the
Oh,
Lake District.
lovely.
And these producers turned up with a van of furniture, and we literally spent 2 weeks doing it up, painting it.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have to paint the whole thing. We only had to paint one corner because it was
Right.
just all for the cameras.
Right.
We
Yes, because
went
they do
around
close-up
painting
shots.
things in my flat that I was living in. We sort of painted on headboards, painted on, did kitchens, floors, and that was 18-part series. That
Wow. And you're not
was
going to say
on.
what it was.
Well, I can't remember now because it was such a long time ago. I mean, it was about 20. How old was I? It was before I was married. So it must have been about 30 years ago. It was that long ago. And then I did a lot of stuff for BBC, and I did the art show and the leisure hour, it's called. I found the old videos the other day. I was having a laugh at myself on telly. And I had to go and do people's like makeovers, literally a
Oh,
floor, a kitchen, and they filmed you. I mean, it
right,
was
right.
hilarious doing it. But I did a lot of that, and I did a lot that I had to do, and then but it was fun and enjoyed it. But I sort of it was before the internet, literally before anything like that. So you couldn't really you only had to communicate with a telephone or a letter.
Mm-hmm.
It was that bad. And we look back on those days and we think, gosh, how we managed.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fascinating. Well, that's a nice little
You know,
insight. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because you said that you hand draw your designs. I'm thinking, God, you must clearly must have been an artist to be able to
Yeah,
do
yeah. Well, I
that.
do. I'm always been drawing, painting, and I had to do a lot of trompe l'oeil. So I had to do things in big scale,
Wow, right.
painting, and I hand painted furniture. So I've always done painting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people always say to me, some people actually come up to me. It's usually a man. No offense to men, but they usually come up to me and say, "Do you do the designing then?" And you go, yes, actually. Really, do you? Yeah, I do all the painting and the drawing, and I do everything. But the thing, the thing that amazes me is that, some people who do what I do can't do the full process. So they want
Mm,
to
mm.
paint a picture, but then they need somebody to put it into, digitalize it, put it into repeat, do the
Yeah.
colors for them, and then they're a bit restricted because they have to pay someone quite a lot of money an hour to do that.
Mm.
Whereas I do everything from start to finish. I do all the painting, everything, put it all on the computer, do all the technical stuff. So I send that to the printer,
And it's
literally ready
done.
to print. So
Clever clogs.
I'm quite lucky I can do that. So I do
Mm.
the whole process. So I can see the whole process. I don't have to pay anyone to do anything.
Yeah, that's great
But
because then you can tweak as you go along and you know at what point to abort,
yeah,
you know.
exactly. And I do think of some people, and I think, gosh, that must be so restricting having to
Mm.
idea of what you want and trying to translate what you want.
Yeah, and just say I want a little bit more of this, or can you just tweak this a bit?
No, no,
And that
and
becomes very subjective then
no,
because
no.
they're
And
trying
it
to understand what you mean.
and it does take a long time to do it. I mean, people, you go through stuff and you can go do a design from start to finish, and at the end you think, that is horrible.
Mm.
I'm not going to use that. But the thing is, you've gone through the process
Yeah.
with it,
And it's
so
okay, isn't it? It's okay
yeah,
because I mean, when you think about I can't remember the guy who invented the light bulb, but I think he tried 1,000 times.
yes,
I don't know,
yeah,
was it Edison,
yeah,
or another
Edison,
guy?
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
so
You
I
just have to
think,
keep trying.
yeah, I think in our word too, we want
Mm,
everything to be perfect and right the
mm,
first time.
mm, mm.
Um, of course, it's perfect once it goes to the
Yeah,
printer, but
yeah, yeah,
that's your sandpit. That's your time
yeah,
to play. And if
yeah,
something
yeah,
doesn't feel right, but you can still probably take an element out of it and
yeah,
go, I like this bit, and this is the kernel of the bit that works. And so now I'm going
yeah,
to do a design with this
yeah,
in it.
yeah.
So, Yeah,
That's
I think,
and
but I think
and you
we're
go,
just in this
I
instantaneously
know,
want everything straight
yeah,
away. And people don't give themselves, and I'm not saying, I'm going to
mm,
say this word, but I'm not
mm,
saying this about you, but
yeah,
people don't give themselves permission to fail.
yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
definitely,
They don't give
yeah,
themselves permission to experiment and to
yeah,
try.
uh-huh,
And that's where the creativity, that's
yeah,
where the
mm,
ideas come
yeah,
from. You know, that's that the core of the gem comes out of that. But we
yeah,
don't seem to allow ourselves to do that anymore because
yeah.
it's all quick, 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 quick.
Yeah. I mean, I do
Um,
like a massive body of work. Like in the summer, I was like, we went up to Paxos Island, and I had a sort of like a horrible skin complaint, and I couldn't go in the pool, and I literally just had to sit in the shade. And I thought, well, actually, I'll just do that. And I managed to find a shop on Paxos with some really good watercolor paper, and I'd luckily bought some watercolors. I just spent the whole holiday, and I loved it, and I just painted all the things in
oh,
the garden, because the garden, we had this lovely villa with a really nice garden, some unusual plants in it. And I just went around picking everything and just literally painted as well. I mean, painted whatever I wanted to. I mean, this design
hmm.
here, this is called Paxos Parterre. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like literally the sort of, I mean, it was a watercolor of the leaves and, things like that. And that was a sort of the colors, and
Oh,
it was sort of fun doing it, and I just gave myself, do whatever you want, and I did it. But it's important that you do just have a go and do be have. I mean, quite often I'll go back to collections and artwork I did for previous collections, and suddenly have a light bulb moment and go, oh yes, I really like that now.
mm, mm,
Think
mm.
also, it's constructive criticism is always, or feedback, I call it. I mean, to me, I love knowing the honesty people give me, like
Mm.
say, Karen, what do you think of these? I just tell them what you think. I don't mind good, bad, the ugly. I really love that. And I think that if you go to art school, people do that, and you have to accept the fact that some of your stuff is people are not going to like.
Mm.
And you've got to, but it's good though to hear that, because then you see it and you realize it yourself, and then it makes you sort of go in another
Mm,
direction.
mm, 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 mm.
Thing to fail, you allow yourself to fail. I mean, I quite like, certain people I know will give me an honest answer,
Mm.
because sometimes everybody has a sort of the beautiful baby syndrome. Have you heard of that one? When people,
No.
well, they go, oh, isn't your, that you're sort of sitting there and you've got like some beautiful, not a very beautiful child,
All
beautiful baby,
right.
but everyone around you, your immediate circle, love the baby and think, oh, isn't it beautiful to you? And you think your baby's beautiful, but actually to the rest of the world, they don't think it's beautiful. And the thing is, you have to sort of, realize that, and you've got to sort of, people, it doesn't, to me, if someone said I don't really like that, I wouldn't be offended. I'd be
Mm.
people that gave me an honest opinion,
Yeah, yeah.
and I think that's really important.
Mm. And it's then whether you take that on. I mean, it's like they
Yes.
can give their view, and then you decide whether that's relevant or
Yeah.
what you're going to do with
I
that.
mean,
So,
I find my sisters the best. I mean, they really
are
give
they
you the
brutal?
real, absolutely. In fact, the one that lives in Australia, I dared show her stuff. So she
Ah,
hates pink. So she goes, I don't like pink. And
yeah,
I
but
go,
then that ends up being about her, doesn't it? So
well,
it's not about
I
your
know, and
design.
I think that with another friend of mine is in Australia. She's English and she lives in Australia, and she says she's quite blunt, and she says, "Oh, they don't like colour and pattern there. They only live outside, and they only have white on the in the
Yeah,
inside."
Australia's like that a lot. I'm surprised it's white, grey, and black. It's a
And it
thing.
is, and someone said, she said, "Oh, you look in someone's house, and they look like they've got a sort of white, looks like a white IKEA chair, but really it's really expensive."
Mm.
And then they're just not interested in their interiors. They're only interested in the exterior.
Yeah, or they put in a really big bright. This is generalizing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying because everyone probably can realize fine. Oh, my phone. I'm just going to turn that off. I was supposed to put. Oh, how do you? This is right. Hold on. Right. I meant to put this on flight mode because I'm so sorry about that.
No, don't worry.
But that
Happens to
makes
me
it
all the
that
time.
makes it live.
And it is
Um,
live,
it
yeah.
is
Uh-huh.
live.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they love then putting, I was going to say, well, I'm Australian, but I now live in the UK. But I
Yeah,
know in
yeah,
Australia they love
yeah,
their pared back white houses and
yeah.
then but with really big, bright, colourful artwork
Oh,
as
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah. I
like
can imagine. Yeah. Uh-huh. The
splash of colour.
artwork.
But then there's a lot of people in Australia I know too that have, it's just like over here in the UK, they very, very light colours or very
Yes,
saturated,
yes,
and because there's
yes.
the maximalist or there's the
Yeah,
minimalist
yeah, yeah,
and then everything in between.
yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah, I'm just conscious of the time because remember
Oh,
I said
right.
to
Oh,
you,
sorry.
oh no, that's all right. God, I could talk to you for hours.
Give me a microphone and a platform and I can chat
Yeah,
away
because
for ages.
we could talk for a
I
long,
know,
long,
I
long
know,
time.
I know. I know.
Um, but just wanted to ask, were you ever afraid of color? Because this is the on the color couch, and people who are
Yeah,
watching,
yeah. Uh-huh.
it's really to help them fall back in love with color again, or to reconnect them
Yeah,
back to color, or even to be more color
yeah.
curious.
Mm, mm.
And so I think it's really good when designers, creatives who use color, if they
Mm,
can share when they maybe were afraid of color or wary of color, and then what you did to overcome this, because I think it's
yeah.
really helpful for people who are
Um,
watching this to hear.
I think one thing which I've sort of found over the time is like if you're decorating or doing decorating and you're decorating a room and you think, oh yes, let's use this color. This looks really good, and you pick it out of the chart and think, oh, I love that color.
Mm,
And then but then I think one thing I've learned is that you need to think about the room itself, and you need to know which way it's facing, because the thing is, you could do, I mean, yesterday I had some people that came around and they wanted me to help them with some color, and they had wanted a wallpaper and they chose the most boring color, like it was literally sort of gray green. And I said, oh, which way does the room face? And they said, oh, north and south. I said, oh, right, okay. And it's like an attic room with loads of different angles in it. And I said, that will look really oppressive, boring, and dull, and you'll regret painting that color. You will. Anyway, I sort of said to them, listen, how about, and it was a sweet little girl, and I was helping her. And I said, well, how about
oh, so
these
this
colors?
color was for her bedroom.
Yeah, for her bedroom, she
Oh,
wanted
that would
it.
have
But then,
been, yeah, that would have been
and it
tough
was
for a
like
little
a
kid.
really, I mean, lovely in it, like a reception room or something much, but not for this girl's bedroom. Anyway,
Mm.
it was anyway. So I sort of steered it towards a bit more of a sort of like a brighter green. And I said, listen, if you do this color, and she looked at it and you could tell, think, oh, I'm not too sure about it. But we're in my studio, which is pretty boring light, and it's not, everything looks really sort of exaggerated and bright, horrible sort of electric light. So, and she looked at it, and I went, look, I tell you what, you really have to dare yourself a bit more with color in a sort of like a north facing room, because it's, you're not going to see the full color, so you need to try and get something a bit brighter. So anyway, I went in, she thought, no, I really like it. And we helped paired all things together. And I said, well, tell you what, go into one of the rooms and we're going to take you into a bathroom, which I did in my house. And I had to paint it a really bright yellow, and it's north facing. But go into the room and you tell me if you think it just feels like a really bright yellow. And they went in and went, no, not at all. And it was like a yellow ground Farrow and Ball, which is quite bright yellow, but it doesn't look yellow in the room because it's north facing. So I think the thing then, she looked at her color, because we took the colors she was going to use into that room, and she could see that the color wasn't as bright as she thought it was going to be, and she was
Mm.
happier about it.
Mm.
The thing is, I think the thing that, being frightened of color, in certain situations, you need to look at your room and think, which way does it face, what time of day do I use it, how do I want this room to make me feel?
Mm.
And
Mm.
being frightened of colour, sometimes you can use the wrong colour and it would look awful.
Hmm.
Just looked at it a bit more and asked yourself a few questions.
Mm.
You know, you might use a better colour, which will make the room look better, make you feel better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I painted rooms wrong colours and thought, see, that bathroom I painted a horrible colour and I hated it. And I always wondered why I'd hated it because
Mm.
it wasn't warm enough.
Mm.
So anyone can make a mistake, even me.
Yeah, well, we're all human, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I make mistakes and learn from them. You know,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
person to say
exactly,
I've made a
exactly.
mistake.
Instead of maybe being worried and then going to what you were saying at the very top of the
Yeah,
conversation about going to a neutral. And a
yeah, yeah,
neutral normally means a very light, soft color, like a
yeah,
white, a light gray, a
yeah,
very like a beige, a very soft color. And that's what we can often do. We can often
yeah.
be scared or afraid of color. So
Mm,
it's almost a no color decision.
exactly.
So it's still deciding, but um not having the confidence. And people also really do worry what other people think.
They do,
But
they do. And do you know, I think
but they don't live in
social.
the space, do they? They don't live
No, I
there.
mean, one
So
thing I did a thing on Instagram and I did a thing about, you know, I sort of put some things up that sweeping statements, probably have to say, things that I thought personally. And I remember saying, don't paint a room for your friends or your neighbors because,
mm,
you know, otherwise you're really making it boring and you're making it dull. And you just,
yeah.
why do you want to do that? And the
And you're
thing
never
is,
going to please them because
you're
they will
never going
all
to
because
please
they'll each
them.
one of them will want something else anyhow.
And
And they don't live there.
exactly.
Yeah, I just
No,
I,
and I think if you look at the room and think of it and let the room tell you what color it needs, let the room help you because that will answer your questions. And if
mm,
you just ask three questions to yourself, you know, which way does the room face? You know, how do you want this room to make me feel? Do you want,
mm-hmm.
want it to look bright, light, or calming, or whatever? And then that will help you get the right color for the room. And if you have something, a reference like a picture or something that you like,
Mm-hmm.
use that. But the
Mm.
room will help you if you let it tell you what color it wants.
Mm. And also, yeah, like you're saying, how you want to feel in that space because you
Yeah,
want the room to support you in a positive way as well.
yeah, yeah. And someone sent me a picture. I mean, I'm always being sent pictures of everything. I mean, literally, it's like psychic decorating. Get my crystal ball
Yeah,
out.
yeah, I know what you mean. I get asked that
Hang
all the
on, I'll
time.
just read your mind over the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah, I know.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Psychic decorate. It's called psychic
Oh, is it?
decorating. You
That's a
know,
service.
it's a seriously good one. And I have to think of the Lord help me, you know. And I got somebody sent me a picture of a sort of a yellow room or a room. I said, "Oh, what fabric would go with this?" And I said, "Well, one, don't choose the paint color. Do you choose your fabric
Mm,
first?
mm.
And two, the picture you're looking at might be a room east facing, and they've taken the picture in the morning, and it looks
Yes.
at its best.
Yeah.
Which way does your room face? I mean, you literally there's so many things that you can do, but
Mm.
people just want an instant answer. They
Yeah.
want you to press a button for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, I'm always there to help people. I love helping people. I love doing it because I find things out myself and I really enjoy helping people. And if they can send me a photo or tell me, give me a little bit of a brief, then they get much more out of me. But if they
Mm,
just
mm,
give a thing, hello, what color can I have? Hello, what fabric can I have? Then
mm.
they don't really get much out of me because I can't spend the morning going into my studio doing color sampling for them and then coming back to them
Yeah.
because I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. No, I
I
get,
mean,
totally get what you mean. Yeah.
no.
That's well, at least people are coming to you and they're asking about color. So
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's
that
good. I mean,
that
I'm
can only
always
be
there
a
to
good thing.
help. I
Mm.
love that. I love helping people. It's in my nature to help people. I love helping people as much as I
Brilliant.
can.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Just got a couple of kind of little wrap-up questions. May not be little, actually. Um, what do you think your life would be like without color?
Very quick question. Very boring.
Very
I
boring.
wouldn't enjoy it. No, I couldn't. I'd be devastated if I didn't have color to live in. I just feel like transparent. I feel empty. I just wouldn't. To me, I just think, colour's so important. You know,
Yeah.
and people who are frightened of colour, and oh, I couldn't paint it that colour. And think, well, look at your telly, look at your phone, look at
Mm.
nature, things around you, look at the shops you go into, look at, you know, you live with colour without
Yeah.
realising. And if
Mm.
that was the way, I think it'd be very boring.
Mm. Yeah. No, that's the good points because and you know what happens also
Mm.
is that when there is ever an immersive experience, like at the Tate Gallery or the Tate Modern or Tate Britain or, one of these big galleries or a big pop-up, they're full of color and
Yes,
they sell out every single
yes,
time. Like trying to get a ticket is like,
yeah,
if you don't buy it straight away, they're gone. So
yeah,
people
yeah.
clearly love color and
Mm, mm.
I would say they're even they have a need. They're desperate to drink the color in, but they won't have it at
Mm.
home.
No,
And it's
and
not to
I'm
live
not.
at home with the kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
It's not to be
yeah,
like
yeah,
which
yeah.
Kay
Mm.
Fassett, who's a very well-known textile designer,
Oh
he once
yeah,
said to
yeah,
me,
yeah,
"It's not like Disneyland on acid, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's not just having color for color's sake. It's using it mindfully and with intent and using it consciously."
yeah.
But yeah, it's just very interesting that people will absolutely flock and queue and just love these immersive
Yes,
experiences,
yeah,
but
yeah,
they won't, but their homes don't have
yeah.
color in it. So
I
I
think
always
people are
find
just
that interesting.
frightened. They're frightened of what people say. I
Mm,
really do. I think there's a lot of people that do, as we said before, decorate,
yeah.
but like if they want their friends and family to accept,
Yeah. Well,
you
it's
know, what they
accepting them.
like.
Yeah. And it's
And I
accepting
think
them.
that's what they have in the back of their brain. It's like this sort
Mm,
of a little person, you know, oh,
yeah.
I can't paint that. What would people think of me?
So, yeah, that leads me on to my second last question. Um, for anyone who's afraid of color, because that's
Mm,
what we've just been talking about, what
yeah.
would your number one piece of advice be?
Well, oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, I think probably just, you know, try things out, you know, in the room, as you said before, you know, if you're going to be decorating, what I try and do is if you know, put things together, wait to the finished thing. Don't sort of go, oh my goodness me, someone's painting the wall bright pink or bright whatever, it's going to look awful. Don't don't back out then. Wait till you've got everything in, the furniture, the fabrics, you know, all the pictures on the walls, you put it in because that's what brings it together.
Because
And I think, you know,
it's a cohesive then,
it's
isn't
sort of
it?
it's a cohesive thing. And sometimes, you know, quite often you could paint a room, you know, a bright color and think, oh my God, it's going to take over. It's going to take over. It's not going to take over because you're bringing in,
Yeah.
you know, the furniture. And then people look at the wall and think that that's all the color. But actually, when there's other colors to dilute it down, and quite often people end up with a boring scheme and they think, gosh, I wish I'd done something a bit brighter.
Mm, mm,
You know, more often than not,
mm.
they regret the boringness. And then they come to me and say, how can I make it look a bit more interesting?
Yeah, because they realize something's missing. And normally what is missing, it's the emotional energy or how they want to feel emotionally is missing. So
Yeah,
they're now
yeah,
trying to find that, yeah,
yeah,
in color and design. Yeah.
yeah. And then quite often, I mean, they could do a room and they've done it all green or variations of green. And then you think, well, I tell you what, just put one red cushion on the sofa or one red cushion on the bed, and just one thing of that, a tiny little punch of color, just makes the whole thing. You know, it's literally that simple. You
Or
know,
you
so
can
it's,
change the energy, yeah.
yeah, you can
Well,
change the energy.
or they just change the amount of green because that's quite often what it is because
Yes,
they're just overwhelmed with the emotion or the sense that green is giving them. And
yes,
sometimes, we can put too
yeah,
much of one color in.
yeah,
I
definitely,
always say it's like eating chocolate. Just because you've got the
yeah,
whole box, you don't have to eat it all at once. You can be
exactly,
sick because you have too much or
yeah,
just a little bit. So just a
yeah,
little bit of green as opposed to
yeah,
it all being green, because
yes,
then the energy changes and then how you feel in the room
yes.
changes. Even though the color might be right,
Mm.
it could be the proportion is wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I don't
Mm.
totally agree. And I think that, you know, I was, when I do a scheme, I was try and bring in like another color, something completely different to what I'm trying to create for that punchness, for
Hmm.
that's something that brings it together, just connects everything. You know, that's what I try and do. But I do think people just, if they tried it, they'd be surprised.
Yeah, give it a go. Just give it a go.
Give
Yeah,
it a
and then
go.
don't worry, as long as if you love it and it works for you, that's the main
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
main thing. Don't think
yeah,
about other people. It's your house. You live with it.
yeah, yeah, brilliant. Right, so my very, very, very last question is
Yes.
if you could invite or suggest anyone I could invite onto the color
Oh,
couch,
yes. Oh,
who
yes.
who would that be?
It would be Paddy from, I can't remember his name. Is it Paddy O'Donnell or something or other? And he's always on the Farron Ball Instagram. And I
Right.
went to see him. He was in London, and I went to this event at Chelsea Town Hall, and he did a talk. Anyway, and he was so nice and natural and lovely, and he was really funny and just really sweet. And he's someone you could really relate to, and he's really good at putting the colours together. And he's done and I think he lives at home with his husband and his mother, which is quite surprising. But anyway, he's always quite careful about how he decorates his house, because his husband doesn't really like him putting loads of pics and things on the wall, and his mother
Mm-hmm.
about her as well. So his
Mm.
house looks really nice, and he's done a really good job, and it looks really cozy and comfy. And he's a really good person. I think you definitely would enjoy talking to him.
Oh, he sounds like yeah, because I actually have watched a few of his Instagram videos
Yeah.
and
What do you think?
yeah, just yeah, well, first of all, he just comes across so natural, like he's just
Yeah.
having a chat. I mean,
Yeah.
even
I
just
like that.
like when I look at him, I think, well, there's the masterclass right there. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
just in his style of delivery.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just yeah, just a nice, fun, chatty,
Yeah.
lovely guy, and
Mm,
clearly loves color.
yeah.
Um,
He's
and
got good
so,
take on it as well. Good take. Some of the colours he uses, and think, oh, that's quite interesting. It's the way
mm,
he's good. I think anyway. I think you'd really enjoy it if you got together.
I
Could persuade
will.
you to do it.
I'll, I'll I'll shoot him a line and see if he,
Yeah, yeah.
because not everyone that I approach
Uh,
replies to me. A
yeah.
lot of the famous people don't.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Some of them
They're
do, but
lost. They're lost.
that's the way it is. That's the
I
way
think
it
he's really
is.
approachable,
But he
actually.
looks, yeah, he seems it.
And I think
So,
he's interested in color. I mean, to me, I love doing it. I mean, I think when we after 2020, I think I had long COVID, and we had COVID, and
yeah.
and then it all sort of slightly sort of we were, everyone goes off in their own different directions. But I mean, it's nice 5 years later, I'm here,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
No,
good, and it's good fun. I love talking about color and things. It's great.
absolutely brilliant. Well, Charlotte, it has been an absolute pleasure. We could say this is 5 years in the making, couldn't we?
I
We
know,
could,
definitely, without a
we
doubt.
could, but thank you for you being really honest and sharing your behind the scenes of how you work, because I know anyone who's an aspiring up and coming
Mm.
textile designer, maybe it's on a CMF CMF core degree or at
Yeah.
university, and
Mm,
there are a lot.
mm,
I'm
mm.
sure they would love hearing about
Yeah, yeah.
your behind the scenes and just knowing
Mm.
it's okay to experiment because it's not
Oh,
failing.
definitely.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much.
No, a pleasure. Really enjoy talking to you. It's
Oh God,
great.
I know we could talk forever,
I
and I had
know. I can.
so many more questions, and I've had to skip them all because two
I'm
hours
sorry.
later, and we would still be here.
I rambled
But
on a bit.
no, you didn't. You didn't. It was all valuable. No, it's what everyone shares is of such value.
Mm.
So no, thank you so much. And
No.
just for everyone, who's been watching, I'd love to know what you connected with in
Mm.
our discussion today. So all you need to do is just let me know in the comments below. And because I love to read what your takeaways are, because that really helps me then know type of people to interview or the kinds of questions to ask. So if you'd like to know or see more of the, on the Color Couch conversations, you can head to thelittlebookofcolor.com and you will see that there's loads of interviews there. And you can also subscribe here on YouTube so that you don't miss the next one. So I've been Karen Huller, and this is On the Color Couch. Bye for now.